Ole Miss fans need a hotel for the game weekend? Many OTAs keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you still get your loyalty points, receive direct confirmation from the hotel, and you support Rebel Grove. Visit fanplans.com/Rebel Grove today.
Welcome into another edition of the Davison Igbinosun Show, presented by the College Corner. I'm Neil McCready. That is Ole Miss cornerback Davison Igbinosun. We're brought to you each and every week by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area in Ridgeland. The College Corner is next to Fleet Feet. In Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, it's okay. Go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Whether you're tailgating in Oxford or home gating with friends and family, the College Corner has you covered for game day with the largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi. Don't forget, it's getting into the holiday months, getting close. If you're starting to think about your shopping, think about the College Corner. Go to collegecornerstore.com and shop for gifts for your loved ones. They will appreciate it, and we would too. Davison, how are you?
I'm good, Neil. How are you?
I'm good. You guys just kind of keep on cruising along, 7-0 overall, 3-0 in the SEC. You beat Auburn 48-34. Get ready now for a trip to Baton Rouge to get ready to play LSU. That game 2:30 on Saturday. If you're not making the trip down to Baton Rouge, you can see the game on CBS. That has to be cool for you, I'm guessing, to finally play in the CBS Game of the Week, a game that I'm guessing, even growing up in New Jersey, when the CBS Game of the Week came on at your time, 3:30 Eastern on Saturday afternoon, you heard the music and you sort of knew what it was, right?
Definitely.
What is that like for you to? We'll go back to Auburn in a minute, but you knew when you signed with Ole Miss that it's one of the things you wanted to do is play in the SEC and on the big stage and stuff. But here it is, a chance. And you've played a bunch of games on national TV now, but the national CBS Game of the Week, how cool is that to be in it?
To be honest, it's just a dream come true.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can think that in some ways it probably for the first time maybe feels a little surreal. I mean, I know you're focused on the day, and today's Sunday as we tape this, and you probably had film and you've had some rehab and all that stuff, and tomorrow you guys have practice and all that. But in the back of your mind, there has to be a little part of you that thinks, "Wow, this is what all that work was for. This was." I'm getting to do the things that I dreamed of doing.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, let's talk about the Auburn game a little bit. You guys got off to a hot start. It was 21-0. Kind of looked like, hey man, this thing's about to be a blowout. And then Robbie Ashford kind of got loose on a long run, and that set them up. They got a score, and then they got the ball back, got another score, and suddenly it was a football game, and it kind of stayed that way the rest of the way. What was it about their running game that kind of gave you guys fits?
I don't think it was them. I think it was just us. Like we didn't play to our standard as a defense. Like a lot of missed tackles and missed assignments.
I hear a lot about the missed tackles. People were talking about that yesterday. Troy Brown was talking about that earlier. What do you attribute that to? Because you guys earlier in the season were really tackling sound. Is it something that you just kind of gotten away from? Is it something that you can fix?
I'm not sure. I just think that we as a defense, we throw a lot of shoulders and don't tend to wrap up.
So I was telling you beforehand, I was noticing on I guess it was in the aftermath of one of Bigsby's long run, not one of the big long run that he had. So I had the binoculars out and I was watching, and I noticed as you were coming off the field, Sam Carter, the Ole Miss cornerbacks coach, was on you pretty good.
Yeah,
he was kind of on you all the way to the bench. What was that about?
So Tank, he broke a run, and as a corner, if somebody breaks, it's my job to go down and chase them down. And I didn't do that. I allowed him to score, so he was just telling me like that's not good enough, and that is not our standard. So like he holds me to he holds me to a high standard, and he doesn't treat me like a freshman.
Yeah, and you hold yourself to a high standard too. I'm curious though, in that moment, right, where the coach is yelling at you and you're getting off the field and you're probably a little frustrated with what just happened on the field and the coach is yelling at you and there's really nothing you can do in that moment to change what just happened. Right. How do you process, hey, the coach is mad at me right now. He's yelling at me, and yet at the same time not let that get you down or whatever, and at the same time know that, hey, in the midst of all this yelling at me, he cares about me. He wants me to play better. He wants me to be successful, and he's trying to make this a teaching moment. Is it hard to, in the heat of the moment, process all of that?
I mean, like, that's not the first time that has happened. Like, if you make any like, if you don't do something right throughout the entire spring, throughout the entire fall camp, like that's gonna happen. It's just like having like the so what now what kind of thinking. Like, you have to have short-term memory.
But you probably didn't get yelled at a whole lot in high school, I'm guessing, because you're one of the better players. So when you get to the college level, and I know they tell you guys that in the recruiting process, and they tell you that when you get there, that, hey, don't take it personally.
They don't.
Is it hard? Is it hard not to take it personally though, Davison, when someone's yelling at you all the time like that?
To be honest with you, it is quite hard. But like, me being a freshman, like, if you're a freshman, you're going to get it a lot. So like, at this point, I'm used to it.
At what point did you kind of feel yourself? At first, did it hurt your feelings the first couple of times that it happened?
It did, but like, you have to understand, like, you're now playing college football. Like, there's jobs at state. Like, you have to like know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a good point, right? Because when you're playing high school level, I mean, I guess the coaches' jobs are at stake, but it's different. There's not national people talking about a coach getting fired or a coach on the hot seat. You know, right. If you lose on Friday night, you just get ready for the next Friday at this level. And you saw it on the other sideline yesterday or Saturday with Auburn. I mean, that coach is very much on the hot seat. He's probably not going to get through the rest of the season. It is a totally different deal. Yeah, for sure. I did think it was interesting. First of all, you probably had never experienced a lightning delay. Was it hard to be in a game, 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter? You're about to take the field. You guys just scored to go up 2 scores. You're about to take the field, and suddenly you're in the locker room for 30 minutes waiting to get called back out. Is it hard to, A, kind of stay loose and fresh and stuff, and B, how do you sort of handle that mentally? Because obviously you're not going to be like game focused when you're sitting in your locker room.
Right. So like, actually, during the delay, we were actually watching film on Auburn.
Okay. So you just kind of stayed in that mode.
Yeah.
You guys came out from that delay and got a stop. Offense got the ball back, got a couple of first downs, ran the clock out. In terms of finishing a game, which is something Lane Kiffin has challenged you guys on, you finished it pretty well. Was that something you can kind of build on going into this week?
Yes, it is.
All right, let's talk about this week. It's LSU. It's big name, Tiger Stadium. Have you ever been to Baton Rouge? Did they recruit you at all?
No, never. I have.
Okay. I haven't. You get another mobile quarterback. Jaden Daniels, the former Arizona quarterback, is there. I thought he had his best game of the season for LSU last night at Florida. Did you get a chance to watch any of that? How much LSU film have you seen?
I actually saw their film against Florida today, actually. I did.
What do you think of him? How difficult is it to or how important is it for a defense to sort of contain a guy like him who is such a weapon with his feet?
He's pretty good. But I think personally, with their offense, it's the pieces around him.
Talking about Keyshawn Butte and guys like that?
All those guys.
They've got a lot of skill guys. Anybody in particular, when you look at them on film, sort of got your attention?
Yeah, Butte. They move him around a lot.
What is it about him that makes him so good? They've obviously, LSU's had a line of great wide receivers. I was just watching Jamar Chase with the Bengals earlier today. I mean, they've had one after the other. Justin Jefferson, the list goes on. Butte, people talk about him as the next guy. What is it about him that makes his game so special?
I think that he can play anywhere. Like he can play in the slot, could go outside. He can block all those things.
Is it fun to go into an environment? Or I know you're kind of still experiencing this for the first time, but is there a part of you, I guess, that looks forward to going into an environment like the one you'll encounter in Baton Rouge, 100,000 people, and they're kind of crazy. It's known for being, pretty raucous and loud and
Right.
maybe a little bit inebriated, I'm guessing, just a little crazy. Is there a part of you that's kind of like, hey, this is going to be a lot of fun, even though they're all cheering against me?
I think so a little bit, but honestly, I can't really say because I haven't played a game like that yet. I think the only game was Vanderbilt, and that wasn't too packed.
Yeah, it's a totally different deal than what you're about to go into. Do you even kind of ask the older guys like what it's like, or do you just sort of go in with an open book and say, I'm going to experience this and see what the deal is?
Exactly. I kind of keep an open mind.
Okay. All right. Speaking of open mind, obviously Louisiana known for a lot of Cajun food, gumbo, seafood, shrimp etouffee, shrimp Creole. They got the crawfish. I'm guessing crawfish is not like a staple in New Jersey. Have you had much crawfish?
Yeah, I've had crawfish, but I think it's too much work to like break and peel all that. So I don't really tend to eat it.
See, that's a smart thing right there. And if I say that, because I grew up in Louisiana, if I say that, people look at me like I just took out their mother right in front of them. They get offended, and you're like, no, but it's a lot of work. And then if they don't prepare it right, it's really messy. I mean, let's just be real.
Right.
Like it's just what that is right there, and that's not. I mean, I'm much more into shrimp than I am gumbo.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind peeling shrimp because at least the juice is worth the squeeze a little bit with crawfish.
Not right.
Every so often, I think it's okay. It's fine. I like the way it tastes fine. But some people act like it's some religious experience or something. I really don't get it, if I'm honest with you.
Me neither.
What is there a Cajun food you like? Are you a gumbo guy? Are you etouffee?
I've never had gumbo. I can't say that
Really?
I've had gumbo. I like a lobster. If that's Asian food, I don't know. I think it's
not really Cajun, but it's seafood. Are you a seafood guy?
not really. Like I said before, it's too much breaking, peeling, and all of that.
So I'm interested because like a lot of professional athletes, when they get to the NFL or Major League Baseball or the NBA or whatever the case may be, they get super serious about their diets, and seafood, fish specifically becomes a really big part of their diets, and they have to almost learn how to like it. Do you ever try salmon or any of that stuff?
I've had salmon. I think salmon is pretty good.
What's kind of the staple for you during the week? I mean, I know nutrition at your age is important, but you're so young that you could kind of eat whatever the hell you wanted to some degree.
Yeah.
What's your go-to Sunday night meal, your go-to Monday night meal during football season?
If I'm being honest with you, I like Zaxby's because we don't have a Zaxby's up north.
What is it about Zaxby's you like?
The wings and things.
Oh, okay. So are you a fried or char grilled or what?
It's the traditional bone-in wings.
Okay,
that I get.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's your favorite wing flavor? Is it traditional, or do you like lemon pepper, or are you?
I like
or
the hot and honey.
hot and
I
honey.
think that's what it's called. Yeah.
You sprinkle with lemon pepper?
No, I don't.
That was the thing that I didn't know people did until here fairly recently, and then I started seeing all these people sprinkling lemon pepper on like buffalo wings. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, it kind of does make sense. I like lemon pepper wings a lot. I don't really like to mix the two. I like lemon pepper wings and I like buffalo wings, but I don't really like it mixed
Together.
Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, I'm open to it, but I'd prefer to keep them separate and enjoy each. You guys are seventh in the country. Alabama lost last night. You're in sole possession of first place in the
SEC
SEC.
West, right?
Yeah, is it tempting at all to allow yourself to think about the big picture, or does it make you even more disciplined in thinking about today?
You have to. You can't, because the job's not finished. Like we can very well lose to LSU or lose to A&M. Like you have to take it one day at a time, because it's the SEC. Anything can happen on any Saturday.
You guys, I know you didn't finish until, gosh, it was 4:00. By the time you got out of the locker room and stuff, it probably was after 5. Were you aware of what was going on in Knoxville?
I actually started watching the game as soon as I got home, but like I didn't think that Tennessee could beat Alabama. Like I knew Tennessee was a good team, but Alabama played Texas A&M close and pulled it out. Played Texas close and pulled that out. So I'm like, that was going to be tough for Tennessee to do, but they pulled it out.
When you watch a scene like that on TV, is there any part of you that just puts the player away and just sort of enjoys it as a fan and thinks, wow, that place must be wild? Because the scene that they showed at the end where I guess it was like a blimp or whatever up top, and you see the crowd rushing and the fireworks going off from the top of the stadium, and it looks just incredible.
Magical.
Yeah, kind of magical. It did. It looked just, to me, I looked at that and I thought, that is what college football, that right there is what everybody loves college football for.
I agree with that. But like, as I was seeing it, I was just thinking like, we need that to happen in Oxford. That'll be crazy to experience. Yeah,
you guys get a chance to set it up here the next couple of weeks. Your couple of wins and then an open date, and then you get your shot at them. It's the great part. It's kind of you have to focus on the day to day. In my job, I have to start talking about the big picture, and the big picture is like, hey, this team's playing for big things at this point. So, any last thoughts from you? Anything you wanted to discuss, or you good?
I'm fine.
Okay,
yeah, I'm good.
All right, we'll wrap it there. Look forward to talking with you again next week. Davison, we'll look back on the game against LSU. Look ahead to another road trip to another massive stadium, Texas A&M, the Aggies and the Rebels next Saturday. We'll find out a time on that early this week, I think, or unless they do the 6-day option thing or whatnot. So Ole Miss and LSU, 2:30 on Saturday, Tiger Stadium. Again, don't forget we're brought to you by the College Corner, your one-stop Rebel shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area, one in Flowood, one in Ridgeland. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com, and you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. So for Davison Igbinosun, I'm Neil McCready. That does it for the Davison Igbinosun Show this week. Until next week, take care.